Yo, welcome to Tanked Up with a weekly-ish video game playing craft beer drinking podcast. I'm Ben Nova. I'm joined, as always, by Alex Malpass.
Yeah.
Yep. And we are also joined...
Were you pausing for, like, applause?
Applause. Episode like, yeah!
People at home, they were applauding at this.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You haven't been introduced.
We're also joined by two guys from Opposable Games, game development studio here in Bristol, by Dan Page.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm drunk.
Woo! And by Joe Blakeston.
Hello. I'm moderately sober.
That's alright, a little bit of both. It's fine, it works out. So, these guys have come to chat about a game that they're making that we've played a very small amount of. But we're going to chat about that in a minute. These guys are also going to chat about games that they've been playing. And we're going to discuss Steam Greenlight and early access games, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing, stuff like that. But we've got some beers.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yay. So it's a Wiper and True special. Yay.
Yeah!
Everybody likes Wiper and True.
I'm quite excited about that.
Have you guys had Wiper and True before?
No, I've mused at the name before,
Okay.
but I've never put it in my mouth.
I fucking love it. I drink it all the time. Yeah,
Nice.
It's great. Yeah,
Nice.
it's one of my
Excellent.
favourites.
I think they're probably the best brewery in Bristol, realistically.
It's hard to argue with that, I've got to say.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad we're in agreement. One thing I'm not sure about is I've heard people call it a Viper and True, like it's German or something.
Yeah, they
like
can
that.
fuck right off.
Yeah, right. It's
Yeah,
Viper and True.
When you get there, you go on a brewery tour and it's just full of Germans. And it's like, yes, it's Viper. Like, oh.
Yeah. Well, they just really like snakes or something. I don't know. But round these ways, it's Wiper and True. Until I find out.
Down in
Yeah.
pirate country.
Yeah. Wiper and True.
There's a lot more wiping goes on down here than viping, that's for sure.
I'd wager. So we've got a stout, which is going to go last because otherwise we won't be able to taste any of the other
fair.
beers. And I think 2 pales and an amber.
Okay.
So
Amber first.
amber first, yeah, I guess.
Yes.
That's how these things work.
And then the 2 pales and the stout.
Oh,
Quality.
That's exactly what I was going to suggest.
Nice.
Joe hates beer. Yeah,
Nothing to
I
say.
don't know anything about beer.
That's
so,
accurate.
yeah, it's true.
That's all right.
Well, it's funny to put that out
You've
there.
both just watched me drink some, so...
That's true. Yeah.
No one who's ever drunk.
I've been
beer
drinking
hasn't, like-
either Emperor or Gladiator, and I can't remember which. I think it's Emperor. I think Gladiator is the bitter, and I think Emperor is the pale ale.
Who brews it?
I don't know. It's been available. I've just been to the Bath Ale House,
Yeah.
which is
Really?
bloody lovely. Actually, it's a really, really nice place. Not too far away from the train station in Bath.
Wait,
And they
is
have-
that just in Bath and it's an ale house, or is it the Bath Ales?
No, it's no. It's not Bath Ales.
Okay.
It's the Bath Ale House, and
Got
they
you,
have
right,
their
right,
own entity called the Bath Ale House, and they do their own brews, but they are not Bath Ales.
Right.
Nothing to
Okay,
do
cool.
with Gem and all that
Yeah,
business at all. No,
Right.
it's a really nice pub. Actually, it's really good.
Cool.
It's got a nice little space in the indoors. It's got a really nice little bit on the outdoors. They've got like sort of like seasonal sort of brews there. It's
Nice.
It's lovely.
Sounds good.
It's actually very good. Yeah.
Nice. By the
But-
train station, you say?
It's not too far from the train station. It's like a 5-minute walk. I broke
Like
my
the
ankle.
whole of Bath is like a 5-minute walk.
It is mainly, yeah.
It's
I
like on
broke
the
my,
outskirts of Bath, essentially.
it's true, yeah. I broke my ankle not too long ago, so it's more of a 15-minute walk for me. 'Cause
Right,
I'm limping a little
A
bit.
hobble,
Soft stuff.
a stumble.
Just been sat around the office like campmate.
Oh my god, for the last 2 weeks.
Broken.
Unbearable.
Right, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yay.
Thanks for having us on.
It's alright. So what's this amber ale? What's it
What
called?
do you mean, it's called Blossom.
Right.
And, it's alright.
Smells good.
Oh. Getting a cucumber?
Yeah. That might have been just where I washed the glass up.
Yeah.
I'm not really getting very much from it. to
No.
be fair. It's like,
It's not massively powerful as such, is it?
no. But I suppose it's an amber ale, so it's not supposed to be like...
Yeah, but it has that kind of like an amount of tanginess that makes it beyond the usual bland of...
Yeah, I mean, there's a slight
Yeah.
bitterness to it, but it's not huge at all.
Yeah.
which I can't imagine the IPAs are going to be like.
No, but I mean, if I had one criticism of Wiper and Sugar, it's that beers are never like really packed with flavour. They're really good at making like a specific balance of flavour rather than like big flavour or something. And I kind of like really flavour, like punching me in the face because there's so much
You
flavour.
could have all four at once.
Yeah, could put the stout in
That'd be the answer.
chuck that in now.
Right, so we've had a quick go on your game, Salvaged.
Approximately how many seconds?
How many seconds is 15 minutes? I don't know.
Well,
Very
15
quick
times
math,
60,
which
obviously.
I'm not going to do right now. That many seconds. I like it.
Thanks,
I
guys.
can
Yay.
see the intention that you guys have in it, and like the idea of strategy and sort of not an overbearing, some sort of overlord as such, controlling your people around the
Right.
maps and stuff.
So let's have a description of the game for people who don't know what we're talking about. It's sort of like, I mean, I literally played it for about 90 seconds until it crashed, unfortunately.
That does happen.
It's definitely
Yeah.
an issue with your computer.
It is
Yeah.
it is an
Got
early build
Windows.
as well, right? So
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Yeah, like, I kind of strayed away from using the word, but you're pretty much an exclusive build there. Like, nobody else has had a go of that.
Tanks
so.
have exclusives.
It is, pretty much.
Nice.
But, I was reserving that for someone more famous than me.
Someone that people actually listen to.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But essentially, yeah, no one's had a go at that. We've not internally tested it to the extent that we would if we were going to release it anywhere else. Even if we're going to probably pass it along to anyone at the company that hadn't had a go of it yet. So it's pretty work in progress.
Personally, I didn't know you were going to have a demo that makes it much harder to lie about the game.
Well, yeah, it's true, I know.
It's like, yeah, it's really far along, it's nearly finished.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
I suppose you're like a commander of a squad.
Yeah.
You have, on your screen, you have various different screens which show you almost a shoulder cam of each squad member.
So it's like being Apone in Aliens in the APC
Yeah,
watching.
yeah.
No,
Right,
actually,
yeah.
Apone's with them. Isn't he? Who's the guy?
Gorman.
Gorman.
Yeah.
It's actually literally based on that scene.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
that
much
is
so.
exactly where the inspiration came from.
It was
yeah,
Glad I got that.
I mean, when where it kind of piqued my interest when we originally started talking about it, I think it's kind of the meld between, the gunny shoot games. You don't actually do any of that, and which are too involved for me. Too much killing things for me, and then it's the God games on the other scale where you're kind of too far away from the things you're affecting, and it's hard to have any connection to them. So I think for me it was the nice balance between you get people killed, and obviously this happens in like XCOM, you have like permadeath and things like that, but then they're just kind of like they do die and you feel bad for them. But
Yeah.
Like
You just move on to the next squad member.
Yeah, and this we kind of wanted it where it's not in there at the moment, but things where like feedback whether if they're not at their peak, maybe they don't particularly trust what you're saying, or things like that. But it's like because you are a character, they're blaming your character for your decisions.
It's your decisions taking them around the map.
Crossing the sky.
Yeah.
But, so that's where it's interesting for me. It's kind of the more responsibility than killing things being the focus really.
Yeah, and I know the premise is that you're like a salvage crew. You go around different wrecks trying to get different salvage from things. Is there any, have you guys chatted about another level up from sort of what you've got and moving between different wrecks and sort of management in that sort of way and stuff?
Absolutely, that is fully the intention for the game.
Fully.
Yeah, completely. I mean, for a while we were kind of focused on getting like one specific thing from different wrecks, like it'd be like the black box or whatever. But now we've kind of progressed into more like actually, let's go to these different places, get a little bit of salvage that will then allow you to upgrade in certain ways and kit out your squad members and upgrade your ship and stuff like that. And it's very much like your progression from one ship to another, but at the same time kind of uncovering little bits of the storyline and stuff what's going on. Because I've got to say, like, it's probably very hard to tell at this early point, but like there's a big ass storyline that's going on with the whole game, like, and I think it's gonna go beyond just the first game that we do. Like we've got like something really cool, sort of like in the big long run with the Salvage universe, basically.
Yeah, I noticed from the sort of there's a bit of intro dialogue and an outro dialogue, and it does seem very well sort of fleshed out. There's a lot of nicely recorded sort of sound effects and things going on in the background, and the voice acting's good to bring you into it. And I assume that is that something, are you having those things just to build atmosphere and to take you through the storyline?
Not at all. No. It's very much like they are little excerpts of a much wider story. Yeah. They, of course, we, in a lot of ways, we intend for them to bring you into the story of the current game, but really, like, they are just like seeding little bits of what's happening in the wider scheme of things. Very much so. Yeah. And I think there'll be a lot of surprises in that sense. Really, like, we really want to keep expanding the universe. Like, yeah.
Quality. Nice. Is that something, I know, is it Amplitude who do like the Endless games? Endless Legend, Endless Space,
right?
Dungeon of the Endless. It's all set in one shared universe, but they're sort of three very different games as such. So is that sort of almost the idea as well, that you'll have several games, that might be completely different kinds of games that will sort of filter into this universe?
Absolutely, that's definitely the plan going forwards.
Nice.
Yeah,
I think it's always the design, especially like, it's cracking off with films in there at the moment where you're like filming like any possible. You want to do that thing where it works on its own, but have like we've got a great writer, Dan, who's just not this moron, different Dan, that's really dedicated to like building up. He's just like just ideas coming constantly, and so it works contained. But like every single character that's in there has a birth planet, a backstory, parents. You just he's got way too much fucking time on his hands.
It's really nice. Like you kind of get absorbed into it every now and again. Like I don't know if you listen to any of the like audio logs at all, but like there's some of them that are just fucking intense. And they're really nice, like to listen to. And you're like, and you kind of get really involved, and you can just see so much more coming from that. And like, as a company, we're definitely up for doing games of a lot of different varieties. Like, well, this one might be what it is. Like we're really keen on doing like all sorts of different games. Like we're into a lot of sorts of games. We're into like RPG-esque stuff, but then we're also into like micromanagement sort of weirdness in that kind of business. But then first-person shooters, third-person shooters, whatever. So like it's pretty much kind of wherever we decide to go with it. Or
We'll That's the nice thing about you guys. We often have like dweeb versus non-dweeb kind of arguments in the office, kind of things like coming in there, and we're giving everyone a lot of shit for playing Magic the Gathering in the office the night before, and then realising that I was playing the in-game Magic the Gathering in The Witcher for twice as long as they were playing on my own with fake characters. And you guys are losers, but I'm alright.
Mine's on the screen.
Cool. I had a beer, so I'm okay. Yeah.
Nice. I can sort of see just from the short thing that we played, sort of the different influences. Like when you're seeing the squad moving through the spaces, you've almost got that Doom-esque type feel of moving into the spaces and encountering monsters and stuff. Yet you've got that sort of XCOM level of strategy by positioning people around the map and stuff and giving them directions and things. So it's cool to see those sort of two ideas come together. I suppose one of the things we didn't experience, which I think is one of the big pulls of the game, is like the second screen experience.
Yeah.
So I assume that the map that we've got will be on a second screen.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it is vaguely working at the moment, to be fair. But as I say, like you are lucky enough, if you want to call it that, like to have an early build, which is more or less working. But yeah, you've got a really early build of it, and we do have a very early build at the moment that is working with the iPad, and we've had, when we basically had our first iteration of the game about a year ago, we had a very, very nice version of it that was working again with the iPad or an Android tablet. But like that is more or less like basically, I guess like the sort of the single screen experience of the game is sort of the worst way to play it in a way, even though it's still fine. It's sort of the worst way to play it, and I would recommend playing it with an iPad or an Android tablet, because that's the point of it, really, in a way, isn't it? Really,
so what you mean is that in addition to your first screen, you have an iPad. as well.
Yeah, I mean, you basically we're trying to really immerse people in the story of the whole thing. We just want people to feel like they are Alex Peterson as much as possible. And like, I'm not saying it's a bad way to play it with a single screen. I'm really, really not. It's it's perfectly fine. It works brilliantly. But like, it's just like, all right, yeah, okay, I'm in this command room otherwise, or if you play it like that, if you play it with an Oculus Rift on, you're like, yeah, I'm there, like, wicked, yeah, I get that a bit more. And what we really want to push for as a company is just like as much immersion as possible, basically,
Yeah, I think it's like I love the way games try to get like the empowerment fantasy thing, right? Whether you can shoot something's arsehole off, and you're like, right, okay, yeah, well, you've pretty much nailed that in the games industry, right? Shooting something's arsehole off. How much you improve on that. But like, it's strange when I first tried it, the second screen thing. Like, what different? Because I guess there's a different way to relate to like characters in films. You can either go like, right, well, that person's shooting someone in a film, and if I shoot someone in real life, I'll be just like them, right? Which is probably true, right? But you might. You come into a few issues.
Might be different.
Yeah, there might. Yeah, could be a couple of issues with that. Whereas if you go like, oh, this, like Tony Stark's using his fucking pad to swipe things around and shit's happening when he's doing that. So when you actually, it sounds like they wouldn't have much of effect, but when you pick up an iPad and you're moving things around and telling people where to go, and you're like, actually, this is how they control things in films. Clicking and typing QWERTY keyboards is not how they control things in films. Like, so it's weird how fast that connection is made. Like, as soon as you're kind of doing something that feels sci-fi, it's the same way, like, with like smartwatches. As soon as you're going, like, speaking into your wrist, going, hello, you go, oh shit, what the fuck?
And everyone looks at you like, look at that fucking
I'm in the
knob over
fucking
there,
future.
just,
I don't care what you think. I'm in the future. Yeah, so it's the same thing with like
yeah,
it like
completely.
it's that connection like happens immediately, and that's kind of what happened for me really. It's moved quickly, but
That's cool. Yeah.
yes, it is very cool.
Nice. Have you guys have you tried it much in like VR and Oculus and things?
I've played it more in VR probably than I have in any other way, to be honest. And it's my favourite way to play it. I am a VR nerd, like, massively, so I'm incredibly biased, and anything I say should not be taken into account at all. Basically.
So allow me to interrupt.
No, I shouldn't. But you're asking me what you're asking me. I'm telling you. Like, that is the honest truth. I love virtual reality. I don't know if you know, but I put on the Southwest Virtual Reality Conference, and we're really heavily invested in virtual reality stuff at Opposable Games because we fucking love it, basically. And I've been dreaming about virtual reality since I was a kid and hoping it would happen, and I'm very lucky to now work within that industry. But really, like, for me, that's just the easiest way to play the game. Like, and I'm a lazy bastard, so like, I if I want to play the game and I'm going to be like, can I look at this screen? Yeah, I'll just move my head forwards. And like, that for me makes a lot of sense. Like, I want to look over there. I want to look over there. Yeah, great, brilliant. Yeah, I just move around, and the bit that I want to look at is where I just put my head. I don't have to think about it. It removes a layer of thinking for me, and then when you're in a really tense, high-pressure situation, you're like, oh shit, battling these guys or whatever, like, if you can just look up and down like that for me is a way of not being able to click and right-click and move around and blah, blah, blah. It just works. Like, it's just like being there,
Just
which is the
allows
whole
you to
point.
be fully immersed, rather than sort of sat back from the screen and...
Yeah, and for me, like, playing games is like, I'm trying to pretend I'm there, I'm trying to pretend I'm there, I'm trying to pretend I'm there, and then it's like, alright, yeah, I'm there now, brilliant. It just makes sense for me. And, I've been asked, a few times about how well it works in virtual reality, like, including, the other day, like, Oculus themselves are like, oh, how's the VR support going? And it's like, for me, that's a really interesting question. It's like, how is the VR support going? And it's like, well, it's not VR support, it's just a game that works in VR as well. Like, we're not having to do X, Y, and Z to make it work in VR.
Yeah.
It's actually really well suited to being in VR anyway, because it's a seated experience in what's essentially one room for the game from the protagonist's point of view, and you're there, and like, what the problem is in terms of, like, inverted commas VR support is, a lot of the time, is how do you manage first-person movement?
Yeah.
How do you without feeling sick? And how do you do this? And how do you do that? There's a lot
Just
of
on a giant
different issues. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's been a ball, a mech, a spaceship, a racing car, whatever, and they work very well. But like having a first-person view in VR is a real big problem. But we're actually not facing that problem because at the end of the day, in a game, you're in a command room, and that works fine in VR, and that will not make you motion sick unless you're really particularly susceptible to it, and you're not running on a consumer version of the Rift, which will be at 90 frames per second, which will work absolutely fine. Like, that's not going to make you sick.
Burns your eyes out.
Yeah. And it's a pleasure, I've got to say, it's a real pleasure to be making a game that is like full scale rather than one of the kind of crappy demos that you get on the Oculus Share Store, which there are a lot of, basically. Like, you know, and I appreciate every single one of them, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to slag off, like, you know, 2-minute demos made by devs that are not being paid. I really appreciate the fact that people are making them things, but what I am saying is what we're making is something that we spent, you know, a good 3 years on there, maybe, like, that is virtual reality compatible.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried, like, have you tried an Oculus?
The last time I tried, it wasn't an Oculus, but it was like, I don't know, 15 years ago. The last time
Sorry,
I
a
tried
Rift. Oh fuck, Dan hates it. Oculus is the company. Rift is the product. That's right, isn't it? Is that right?
So you did spell it wrong in Twitter and on Facebook earlier. When I asked you to.
So have you guys tried an Oculus?
No, I haven't. I've not tried.
Right.
Like Alex.
I mean, I tried. I went to like a games expo thing in the NEC Birmingham once when I was like, I don't know, 15 or something. So
they have one there.
Ages ago, yeah. And it was rubbish. I mean, I was like, this is terrible. It's never going to catch on. It's going to be shit forever. But obviously, it's not right. I mean, our friend Adol has one and goes on about it all the time.
Right.
If you start him off talking about it, he just keeps going for ages. Hi Adol.
I'll do that.
Hey Adol.
He's a cool guy. I'm not slagging him off, but he's just, you know, Oculus.
What a prick.
What a prick. Can I just pause here and say let's have another beer? Cause we're so
what a pause.
let's have Citra or Mosaic
Which one's a higher percentage?
of alcohol.
Have the lighter one first, perhaps.
I'd like to just
Build
explain
up
why
Mosaic.
it's called Mosaic, isn't it? It's because the hops in it.
Yes. That's right.
Wait, shut up. The hops in it has like different shit in it.
It's
Like a mosaic.
that almost sounded.
I got halfway through that fucking thing.
Yeah, the Mosaic is the name of a hop.
Can I pause another wee?
Yeah, of course.
Can you have a wee? Yeah. All right. Well,
Just at the top of the stairs.
sorry. Should we pause?
No. We can keep going. We're only pouring a beer.
I think we've got to leave that in.
We're only pouring a beer.
That's not how we do it.
It's a lot easier just to do it in one take.
That's right. It is easy. Let's not edit. So Mosaic is hop. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to have like lots of different types of flavour in there, which is exactly what you were saying. I think.
If you guys need it, like a hand describing
beers, yeah.
Just hit me up.
That's it.
And this one has a golden elephant on the label.
It does.
Doing a handstand. So
Yeah,
it's going to be
that's right.
delicious.
Do they all have elephants in?
No.
No, just two.
I
out
think
of
it's
four.
the India Pale Ales on the Wiper and True have elephants on them.
Indian elephants, then.
Quite possibly
rather than
Indian
African
elephants.
Okay.
Unless it's
Now
in
we're on a
Difference
roll.
being
And where do you?
size.
Because the other one has a hot air balloon, the one we've just devoured. Where do hot air balloons come from?
Bristol.
Correct.
Yes. I realise it's just a quiz.
It was a quiz.
I'm glad I'm doing well.
It was
Right.
well done.
Let's have this beer.
Yes, more beer.
That's lovely.
I'm
This
looking
one's
forward to
actually purple to the listeners at home, which is which was surprising to me.
Which is very odd.
Not expecting that.
It's almost exactly the same colour as the amber ale, isn't it?
It's kind of amberish,
yeah.
isn't it?
it. Yeah.
I'm not sure Dan deserves them.
You seem to have more than everyone else somehow.
Because it's a different glass, I think it's,
Yeah,
it's
it's
throwing you
different.
off slightly.
You might be right. It's the
Yes.
handle. Right.
That smells good.
Really the old.
Yeah. Get the palate
That's
cleansed
what we have to do. Hang on.
to prepare.
Oh, that smells a bit like weed, actually.
Yeah, hops
Yeah,
are really
yeah,
closely
man.
related to weed. Hops, stinging nettles, and cannabis all part of the same
First
group.
time I've smelt weed.
Yeah. What is we? I mean, I assume.
Joey, you enjoying sniffing beer?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I always do every evening, so
Exactly. Yeah.
it's no different.
It's nice.
Let me try it again. I got a little bit of it.
Oh, I like this one. It's fruity. It's not quite tangy enough for what I want, but it's nice and fruity.
I don't think I would say it's very low tang percentage.
Yeah.
I thought we would have
Good
been a lot
though.
more hoppy. Than it
It's
is.
not that hoppy. It's kind of like
Oh, I could
berries
drink
or
this
something.
though. I could drink this for a long time.
Yeah,
That's good.
I think I probably do actually drink this for a long time. Which one's this?
it's
The Mosaic.
this is Mosaic.
Handstanding elephant.
Yeah, I reckon I drink this one quite a lot actually. I've got
Nice.
to say, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like a tang in a hoppy ale, but sometimes it can just be a bit too much. And I reckon for me, this is a good balance for a drink that you could keep drinking for a while.
Nice.
Because, you know what I mean? Like, you can be like, yeah, I know, it's tangy, but, you know, all boisterous about it. But then, 2 or 3 pints later of it, you're just like, oh,
Yeah, I've got to have something else.
oh
so,
God.
maybe.
It's like, yeah. And
But then there are some beers where you have your first couple of sips and you're like, I'm not sure I like this that much, but I've got a pint, so I'll keep going. And then by the end, you're like, actually, that started to get amazing,
Yeah.
and now I want more.
It's like a
Yeah.
pint of vodka, isn't it? By the end.
that's so good!
This is getting better and better.
Awesome. Right, so we'll move on. Now we've got another beer.
Yay.
And discuss whoever wants to go first, Dan, Joe, whichever one
Well,
would
maybe
like.
one of you should
To
talk
what
for
you
a bit.
Hey, we've chatted about the game we played.
Yeah,
It's your turn, motherfuckers. What have you been
Really say
playing?
anything about it, but whatever.
Okay.
I had motherfuckers.
Hang on, then.
One of the worst words to say.
Go for it.
What I liked about the game,
Yeah.
I like the fact that it freaked me out at the beginning by saying, Alex, pay attention. And I was like, what, how do you know that's me?
It's weird. It does actually change name depending on who's playing it. It can, because when you
Well,
log
that's
into your
clever.
computer, it reads your name.
And it was Ben's computer as well, which is really,
Which,
really cool.
yeah, that's weird because that doesn't tie in with what I just said at all.
What an
but-
odd feature.
Yeah. But somehow it still works.
It's the fingerprint scanner on my mouse, obviously,
It's the camera. It's the facial recognition.
which you can't see, just hidden
Yeah.
away.
So, given that I only played it for about 90 seconds, that's all I have to say about it.
That's fair. It's a valid opinion.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's sweet.
So,
I've been playing The Witcher.
yay! So have I.
Excellent. Have you?
A shitload, yeah.
Oh my god, what a delicious game.
It is fucking awesome.
Anyone else? You've been playing that?
I've not yet. No, I've not. I bought The Witcher 2 because I was basically deciding not to buy The Witcher because I went to see Alien, which was paid for by a Witcher IGN promotion
that.
at the Odeon, and I was like, right, well, I'm watching The Witcher. I'm watching Alien at the Odeon on behalf of CD Projekt, and I'm not going to buy The Witcher just because I don't like marketing. So, blah, blah, blah.
Sorry, what's your job again?
Yeah, I'm the marketing guy at a certain computer game company. Yeah.
So I don't understand, why were they paying people to see Alien?
Because they basically had a competition to see what everyone's favourite monster hunting movie was. And everyone's favourite monster hunting movie was Alien, the original one. And then whatever
Right.
everyone's favourite was, they would show it at the cinema. So
It's quite a narrow field, though, isn't it? Like,
It is.
Favourite film, favourite
Yeah.
horror film, favourite space-based.
It was tenuous
Alien
at best.
hunting.
Yeah,
I'm going
it really was.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm going with Predator. As a monster hunting movie.
I'd have probably said Predator as well. As much as I fucking love Alien, do not get
No,
me wrong.
Alien's fantastic, but I don't think
Yeah,
really
yeah.
it's a monster
No, I know.
hunting movie.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, the masses are wrong as usual.
Well,
basically.
hold on, what
yeah.
we're talking about here is Predator's not a better film, right?
No, but it's a
No, but
monster hunting
as
movie.
a film where you were like, "What's the best monster hunter film?" I would probably say Predator.
But what you've
rather
done
than-
there, you've just gone, there's a monster that hunts. That's how you've got there, isn't it? Let's be honest.
No, but like Predator feels like a survival film where there's a load of people put in a situation. God, hang on a minute.
And they're all built like brick shit out.
I think that applies to Alien
Also, it's
too.
going to be.
Come on!
Yeah. Their survival
Same.
skills with those miniguns is impeccable. How did
Yeah,
they
the
make it out
minigun
of
scene
there?
alone does make it a very good film. But, I mean,
But that's not in The Witcher.
That's not in The
to
Witcher.
bring it back to
Anyway,
the
yeah. No miniguns in The Witcher. What the fuck?
It's
What's
amazing.
going on?
I just fought my first fetus in The Witcher. Have you fought
yeah.
your first fetus? I only just did this, and don't listen to me.
Spoilers.
I don't know what that means.
Sorry,
I
How do
didn't,
you
to be
fight
fair,
the
I
fetus?
didn't fight it.
No, I needed to die.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
I made the guy pick it up
Right, okay.
and sit with
So
it.
you fought
Sing
a
to it,
fetus,
sing
but you
to it.
didn't actually fight it. So there was a fetus.
Okay,
I'm
right.
still confused.
Right, okay. Long story short, it was you had the choice, right? And I went for the option where you pick up the fetus instead, but then the fetus just starts summoning ghosts because they're always doing that. So you kill the ghost instead of the fetus, and then you bury the fetus, name the fetus,
Okay.
and then it comes back as a nice fetus.
It's a spirit
It's a
fetus.
spirit fetus. But anyway, yeah, because I bought this game a while ago and haven't had a chance to play much of it. And everyone that plays it is like, "Have you beat the shit out of that fetus yet?" I'm like, no, I'm not there yet. And I just
Can you imagine
did it
the
other
person
day.
playing it and they see this, they've got this choice and there's this, slightly bloated, dead baby crawling towards them and they're like, fuck it, kill the motherfucker!
Just deserves to die. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know why, because they put a choice in there, which was, well, you can either kill this fetus, but it wasn't, it was, the story was like a miscarriage, wasn't it? It was a
Yeah, I think
miscarried
so,
fetus
yeah, I think so.
That's been disregarded by a not particularly nice gentleman. And your options is you can either perform this nice ritual, which we're obviously nice people decided to nicely do, or you can cut it to pieces. And you go, what? Who's doing the cut it to pieces option?
Did you see the thing a little while ago? There was an article a little while ago that basically said that most people pick the nice option in computer games, and it's almost a wasted development effort to make the bad reboot.
I'm not sure about that because
But I disagree completely.
Right.
I'm sure you can't argue with statistics.
Well, here's the thing.
Evidently,
Did any of you guys play the Mass Effect games? So I played that through 1 to 3, and that took me from, I don't know, what was it, like 17 to 22 or whatever, which was actually quite a big change. Because in the first one, absolute prick. And it just, right? Yeah, because I'm a 17-year-old arsehole, right? And then by 22, because it carries your character over.
Yeah.
So you're having to deal with the consequences that you made as a 17-year-old prick. And you're going, Jesus, what a knob. It's just like looking through old Facebook pictures. Was I actually that prick? Like, made a decision that you're now having to deal with these decisions.
Are you trying to imply that you become a nicer guy over time?
Much nice. Well, you didn't meet me when I was 17.
Hey.
I suppose we've had a chat about morality and the choice in games and things like this before.
That was a topic when we...
It was, and
So I mean, we're not allowed to talk about it.
No. we sort of said that as a game mechanic, it's okay, but it doesn't actually really do much for a
it's
game.
just like another way of having different pathways you can go down, but it doesn't really matter whether you choose the good option or the bad option. It's just like choosing the left door or the right door. It's like, who cares really?
But something like Mass Effect, which then carries it on over, and you have that 5-year, 6-year gap between games, and suddenly you're having to deal with decisions you made 6 years ago.
Yeah. And this
is actually...
These creatures come out and they're like, why did you massacre us? I don't know! I can't tell you.
I was so hormonal, I'm sorry.
Yeah, someone just rejected me. You're right. And like a Telltale game for the last half an hour, it's not really doing anything. If you can make that last over half a decade.
For me, that's groundbreaking. I think that was brilliant that they did that. I was really impressed that they managed to allow you to take their decisions over. I was fucking impressed by that.
Like having the consequences of your moral choices is the difference. Because like in Grand Theft or something, you can kill some random stranger.
Sure. Oh, and it's completely
and it doesn't
ridiculous.
Matter, 5 minutes later, you've been arrested and you're back again. So who cares?
It's like the classic Skyrim, like you shoot someone with an arrow, and 3 seconds later, must have been the wind. Must it have been?
The wind just fired an arrow through it.
This guy just picked up an arrow off the ground and thrust it into you.
Just happens to be in my calf muscle. Oh well. Crazy wind.
Have you done any sexing in The Witcher yet?
There have been some scenes where sexing has gone on.
I haven't done any sexing.
That's a
yet.
yes, though.
Yes.
Yeah. I've done a sex.
Well, there was so much. So much. There was chatter about it beforehand. Like before I played the game, there's a few things going around saying, "Oh, you can do this in The Witcher." So I had a look, and you had the choice, you had the option. You think, well, Might as well see what it looks like. It's just like, oh,
You don't
it's just computer-generated softcore porn.
Oh, what?
Great.
I haven't got those. It's
Okay,
softcore.
this was anticlimactic. Not that I suppose I was expecting very much.
Anticlimactic.
Climax.
It's not that good.
Exactly.
That's a shame.
What's the fucking point of it?
Carol, what a disappointment. Yeah, no, because I was thinking, because I haven't got that yet, so I don't, and this is the first time I'm playing a Witcher game. I haven't played any yet, so I don't know what like. It's obviously Mass Effect is that you're on this confined area, right? Anyone you talk to, you can fuck them eventually, right? So it's not really that surprising when it happens. But
Yeah.
with The Witch, because it's so big. I was telling a friend the other day, I was saying like, oh, it's the first time The Witch is the first time I went back to talk to an NPC just because, just for a chat, because she seemed like a nice person. And then he was like, "Are you sure it wasn't just because you wanted to see her naked?" And I was like, "Holy fuck, that's real life." That just made me think. So I was like, "Yeah, I was kidding myself." That's why I was talking to him. Because there's so many characters in this game, and I have no idea which ones you can sleep with. So it's just like real life,
It's exactly real life.
You cross a road because there's someone hot coming the other way, and you just like,
Do you?
Maybe they'll. Yeah, come on. Man. You cross the road, you take a job, you eat in a certain place, like because you win. And I was
the
like,
next 10 years of your life just watching.
yeah. I was like, holy fuck, they've cracked it. Like it's the fact you can't sleep with everyone, but you don't know who you can sleep with, right? So it's just you're like, right, well, I'll better be nice to everyone then.
You sound like you're ready for the. Have you ever been on the subreddit outside?
I'm not going on a subreddit. That sounds like a terrible
You're a
idea.
dick.
We're not going on Reddit.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a really funny subreddit called Outside, and it's basically a big joke about the world being an MMORPG.
Right.
And
Okay.
everything
Nice,
on there is
yeah.
like, oh, we're all on the same server, and it's all permadeath kind of thing. It's just stuff like that, and that would fit perfectly well into
I'll
that.
do it. I'll write it up.
Yeah.
Do well. I think it's good in that regard, but it's also good the way that the NPCs react towards you as well. You're just wandering through a town and people just start shouting at you for no reason, just calling you a cunt and a mutant and stuff, and you're just like, all right, yeah, okay, I just keep going. I know I could destroy you, but I won't. Don't worry about it.
Guys, I could have cut the shit out of that fetus, and I didn't. Right? Give me some recognition.
I made your town better, goddammit.
They'd be crawling all over the place.
It'd be good if he had a rage meter. He just went out as people started shouting things
Pissed
at him,
off.
gets to the top, and he just goes mental without you
Yeah.
doing anything. It's like,
Nice, nice.
oh dear, I've been in town too long.
It's not like the I remember the Black Flag, the Ass Creed game. Did you play?
Yeah,
Assassin's
the
Creed
one I've
4.
not played, yeah.
Yeah, did
I
you play that?
played 4, no.
There was one. It was cause there was a lot of NPCs in that would like react to you, but they just completely fucked it up. Basically, it was like the first level, and you're not even a pirate yet. I don't think. And you walk past people and they go, "Oh God, it's the most feared pirate in the seas." You're like, no,
Yeah, that's not me yet.
not
so,
correct. I've done nothing.
You're just looking behind you.
Yeah.
Like, where is it?
Yeah. Oh shit. So that's what I've been playing. But I'm only about 10 hours in so far, which I'm led to believe is about 1%.
Yeah, man, I'm probably about 30-ish in, and there's no signs of it slowing down whatsoever. Just even more quests now than I had 10 hours ago.
It's lovely.
So,
Nice.
should we have another beer?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I better get this down here.
Let's do the Citra. Why do you think it's called Citra?
It's citrusy!
Yeah, citrusy. It's also the name of a hop. Citrusy hop.
Ooh.
Dan interrupted me there. I was about to say
Yeah.
it's the name of a
Oh,
hop.
Yes. Right, everybody loves this hop, so people go absolutely mental for it.
We had a Wiper and True on before, but I think it was the Saison, wasn't it? The Breeze, I think we've had on the
Was it?
podcast
I don't
before,
remember, but if you say so.
which was very good. I might be making this up.
You might be.
You may have just
People
had
can
it at
listen
some
back
point.
and tell.
Do you know, I get mixed up all the time, and this is something that you shouldn't say on a podcast like this one, but I get mixed up between Wiper and True and Ennis and Gun all the time, because there's just two brands that have both got two names with an and in the middle.
You can ask them to leave.
Yeah.
I know that's really bad,
There's an open window.
but you know Ennis and Gun?
Yeah, man. They're like a Scottish brewer, aren't they? I think, Innocent Gun.
Are they Scottish? Or I was just thinking Cornish, but maybe they're Scottish.
I don't know. You may put a note in later to tell people who the fuck
Yeah,
they
it's
are.
at one
they're
end
both
of the country.
bloody good.
Anyway, yeah.
They're Cornish. I'll say it now.
Ensign Gun, they're very different, I think. to each other.
Yeah, they totally are. But for some reason, my brain just puts them in the same position because they're both, nice ales with something and something
Two names.
in their names.
Yeah.
So
That's how stupid
I was confused
am.
it with B&Q.
Yeah, Marks and Spencer.
Yeah,
With
H&M,
Yeah.
B&Q.
all this shit.
So this beer is fucking good.
I didn't smell. Fuck. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Getting Ribena.
Oh, yeah.
I also got something.
Slightly berried.
Yeah, it's always like tropical
Ribena's
fruits.
made of berries.
Exactly.
Killed it.
Passion fruit. I read an article about Citra earlier.
Oh yeah, passion fruit. Yes.
Yeah.
Just to purely agree.
So it is there though.
It's true, yeah.
They're not bullshit.
It wasn't bullshit. I mean, it's pretentious, but not all pretentious.
Yeah,
is
it
bullshit.
doesn't necessarily
So
lie.
it's true.
So Dan, what have you been playing?
Do you know what, recently, right, okay, so about 4 weeks ago, I was absolutely playing the shit out of Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
And I
You've been
really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. But I know I'm late, so I probably shouldn't talk about that. So I'm going to talk about a game that doesn't have any particular time span whatsoever. Which
So
is
we're not cutting edge here at
E-
all. So it's fine. Yeah.
I enjoyed Shadow of Mordor.
Hey,
so
man, most of the games you played are about 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah.
We
Shit,
constantly goes back
All
to
right,
civilization.
okay.
So it's-
Okay. So Shadow of Mordor, I enjoyed the fucking shit out of because it was just. I don't even like hack and slash games. I just, as a rule, don't like hack and slash games. But that was, for me, a hack and slash game without wanting to be cheesy, but to fucking rule them all. Basically, it was just. It really did. It was really fun to play. It was easy to learn the moves, and as it progressed, it made more sense how you did certain more moves, and the storyline was terrible, but I didn't care because it had this like
Lord of the
weird
Rings, what can you expect?
mechanic where you were like fighting all these different warlords and all this kind of business, and I thought that was a really, really, really inventive way of making you care about what you were doing in the game. And I could play that to death, and I did play it to death until I got to a certain point, and I kind of finished the game. Yeah, but that was beyond what I would normally play. Like I ended up with like 94% completion, which I don't normally do. Like I don't care at all normally, and like much like I do most of the time, I'm a PC gamer most of the time, and I only have so much hard drive space because I can't be asked buying a new hard drive. If I play a game to a certain point, I go, well, I want to play the next game now, and I uninstall it instead of keeping it on there to keep playing it until I've collected all the fucking orbs or whatever the fuck you're supposed to do.
Gotta get them orbs.
Fuck the orbs, basically. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that.
Did you play it?
But
I played it a bit only around here.
yeah.
it's brilliant. It's
gotta, like-
bloody great, good fun, and it's like there's a lot of computer game companies that talk about emergent gameplay.
What's that?
It's
Yeah,
a
what
crock
is
of shit, is what it is. So emergent gameplay is supposed to be when you're playing a game and a situation occurs which is basically not that scripted, and you'll be like, oh wow, this happened, and that doesn't really happen in pretty much any game ever, apart from this game, which there are times where like you wander along and you're like, shit, I've just bumped into that guy and that guy and that guy at the same time. Suddenly you're like fighting like 3 chiefs at a time or whatever, and one of them's like trying to face off another one because they're having a big feast, and one of them's trying to face off another one because they're trying to take over the other one.
each other.
They got
And
their
it's
own issues.
brilliant. It's great. Like you actually do get really into the
Yeah,
whole
I mean-
sort of like battling between these different
Yeah,
people.
that Nemesis system is like really something else.
It's genius,
so
isn't it?
good.
It's
Yeah.
all about push crimp. You ever fight push crimp?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I remember you
Fucking
telling me
play
that
it.
before I even thought of it.
Push crimp. That's the shit when they start chanting, isn't it?
It's
Like one
really
of the, One of the
fun,
fucking
yeah.
big boys comes up. And
Yeah.
But when you get really good at the game,
Sounds like,
And he's this tiny little
Yeah.
guy with a massive nose, little bow on his back. He's
Right.
like,
like even for me saying that,
kill
don't
me,
you want
motherfucker.
to meet push crimp now, don't you?
Yeah,
He's
we do.
well, he's a G.
it's all about Blognack.
He's a top
Just
G.
All of these awful names for these
Blognack's a
orcs.
bitch.
well, there are times playing that game you don't really, I don't know, you don't really care about anything. But then when you later on, you're like, yeah, I want to fucking kill all these fuckers. Like, yeah.
Now I've got to know them better. I really want to
I'm
kill
gonna
them.
take them all down, and you just really get into it, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. But played that for a while. Recommend that to anyone that's not played it. Definitely. But mainly recently, I've been playing Eve, which is obviously a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah,
I
to
don't know what that is.
any
What is that?
Eve Online, Eve Online's been going on for 1,500 years or something, and basically it's like this whole other universe which lots of people live within that like you can't even imagine how complex it gets. Basically,
So think of Star Mode,
Mhm.
not in a Minecrafty sort of aesthetic, in sort of quite a good, sleek.
Like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, almost. But No Man's Sky is a little bit more almost cartoony than Eve is. Eve goes for a much more sort of realistic sort of feel.
Cool.
And it's just a giant MMO where you fly through space fighting pirates and delivering documents and mining stuff and
Delivering documents.
Yeah.
really.
absolutely, yeah. Like that, but them CCP who make that game, their motto is basically like let's create a reality that is more meaningful than reality. Like they're trying to create something that really
Ambitious.
yeah, essentially it has like so much detail and ridiculous fucking just detail in it that you care more about that than life.
That seems like a whole week's discussion.
But the only reason why I'm playing it is because I really want to play the Eve Valkyrie, which is the virtual reality version of Eve, which is just basically set in a cockpit rather than commanding people in cockpits, etc., etc., etc. But to be part of that alpha or whatever it is, you kind of have to be in the Eve thing. So I signed up to that for a free. You can get like a free month on it. I was like, oh, I'll have a little look. Maybe while I'm signed up to it, I'll just have a little look. And I'm like, oh yeah, give me more. I want some of this Eve stuff. Yeah. And I really like it.
I know with the
burn that
player
table.
character, like the way you learn skills is on a time basis, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
in
you
a
can
real
you can
life
see-
time
you can set
basis.
skills
yeah.
over a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
So it almost makes you want to go back in the next day,
Yeah.
even if you know you're not going to play it. You drop in for 15 minutes to set up what skills are going
Like
to then.
right now,
work
I
the
know
next
I'm not
24
learning
hours.
any skills, and it kind of bothers me that I've not logged in recently, which pisses me off because I really hate that mechanic in mobile games. It fucks me right off. But for some reason with Eve, it just
You're essentially
It's
wasting
fine.
your time by being here.
yeah.
That's it.
Sorry, I'm
Eve's,
going actually.
Eve's more meaningful than real life, so.
But it's actually so okay, we've kind of outlined what it is or whatever, blah blah blah. It's actually a really pleasurable, beautiful, lovely game to play. Like it's actually very very nice. Like and there's something really calm and relaxing about it. And I don't know if you're like me, but like sometimes you kind of want to play a game to relax.
Yeah.
You kind of get
definitely,
home, you've got a stressful day, and you're like, I'm not going to play Gears of War 12 right now. Like I just want to sit down with whatever
9 was the best one.
chilled out game it is and just be like, yeah, this is cool. And you log into Eve and you go, I'm going to set my skills to learning like hacking at level 3, and I'm going to learn defense at this blah blah blah, and then you go, I'm going to do a little mission, and you just like go through space, and it's got really beautiful music in it, and you kind of like
fantastic.
it's gorgeous,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, and you just like drift through space and just like zone out for a little while, and it's a really pleasurable experience. Like it's
Yeah,
really,
like the space,
really
because
nice.
obviously you're floating in space. Like the
Yeah.
I suppose they're all sort of generated backgrounds and stuff of the galaxy, but they look really good as well. And
Gorgeous,
the way that the
isn't
light
it?
works,
Yeah.
especially if you come into a space station or something, and you go behind it on the other side where the star is, and you just suddenly plunged into darkness because you're in the shadow of the space station, and it just the way that it does that's really good as well. So.
And they make something as stupid about like $15 million a month or something. I was like trying to tot up the figures as to what they make for the subscription fee and how many people are signed up to it. And it's just like, holy fuck, they've got a lot of money to spend on that shit. So no matter at what point you play it, it's gonna look shit hot.
Yeah.
By 10 years from now, it's still gonna be better than everything else because we've just got that budget coming in.
I know they tried to make is it Dust 314?
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a first-person shooter.
It was a bit of a failure, but
Yeah.
I admire their effort.
Yeah, they tried to branch out into another game.
Yeah.
Which was linked to the EVE universe, so players in the EVE universe could hire players in this game to fulfill certain contracts, and basically it's a first-person sort of shooter with vehicles as well, maybe.
Yeah, I think there might have been. Yeah.
And it seemed like it was a really interesting concept to actually link the two games, and economy in EVE, which is quite a big part of the game, and sort of trading and stuff like that, was then affected by the outcome of your sort of first-person shooter 30-minute battles and things. So it did seem, but that came out on I think PS4 and Xbox One on launch, and of course 4 people had them, so no one sort of picked it up.
And that is the idea with Valkyrie as well. Like it's also supposed to tie into the whole universe of everything, and whether it works or not, we don't know. But I really admire that company for just trying that out, trying to make it happen, because no fucker else has done that before. Like trying to connect like 3 different ways of playing a game together within the same universe, and alright, we've had MMOs before, but normally you've got X amount of different servers, and you go, oh, what server you on? Like, it's just the same server with EVE, like, across 3 different games, never mind, like, one game, like, you normally get several servers. That's just literally one server that everyone's on.
Nice.
That's where the supercomputer lives that will kill us all.
Probably, yeah, I'd say so.
Oh dear.
What's the company in Terminator called that makes the...
Skynet.
Skynet. There you go. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cyberdyne.
Oh no, Cyberdyne might be the company that created it, and Skynet might be the
Cyberdyne's
computer
company.
system.
Skynet's the
Yes.
Right.
Come on, guys, for fuck's
Apone and Gorman confused already. What number?
I'm leaving, to be honest.
Sorry about it.
Drag it back to reality.
You're just terrible.
What have you been playing, apart from this fucking sweet Salvage game that I've heard so much about?
I was playing, what the fuck was that kind of horror game thing?
Hector.
Oh, Hector.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying that. And then I read a review about it, slagging it off horribly, saying about how it was just a mindless... I really enjoyed how you move... it's like a big level that you have to kind of negotiate your way... Do you guys know this game?
No.
Hector. It's like... you're a mental patient in some abandoned mental asylum, and it's like basically pitch dark, and you've just got a Zippo lighter. You just wake up at the beginning, and all you can see is just immediately in front of you, and then a Zippo just sort of shoots out of the darkness and just stops in front of you. So you pick it up and light it, and you have to just find your way around. And it's terrifying. It's genuinely terrifying. And then you sort of have to keep taking these pills that you've got, and you have to keep finding new pills. And
it's getting better.
Sort of if you don't take them, I think you start sketching out and hearing noises, and the sound, the vision goes wobbly and stuff. And
So you have a child laugh in the background, and
Yeah.
there's nothing. You're like, huh.
And it's sort of game where you come into a room and you're like, oh right, yeah, there's not really anything in here. I'll just turn around and go, oh, there's no door now that I just came through, or something. And it's like they fucked with me, and now I have to find my way out, whatever. But what that means is that it is a confusing labyrinth that you're supposed to move through. But because it changes behind you, it sort of doesn't matter where you go, because they always just make sure that I think it's essentially just a randomly generated series of rooms. And so when you die, because there are weird things that can kill you, you start again. And I was confused when I first died. I was like, have I started at the beginning? There's no save point or anything. It kind of looks like where I started. And then this was a few rooms later, I was like, no, this is a new room. I must have this must be new. But now I'm thinking it's just randomly generated.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was really enjoying it and getting into it until I read this review where someone was just slagging it off. Like, yeah, yawn, this is boring, you can just keep going forwards, there's hardly anything to do, it's shit, it's not even that scary. I was like, it's terrifying, what are you talking about? Genuinely horrific.
How can you think that? I'm terrified.
Yeah, so I felt like a total pussy for being scared, but this guy was just bored by it. But yeah, I really liked it, so yeah, I'd try that.
It's like that clip of Soldier Boy's review of Braid. Did you see that? Do you ever play Braid?
No.
The game is just it's a rewind mechanic basically.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia-esque, but the rewind mechanic is intrinsically linked to the theme of the story. And it's beautiful game. I love the game.
It is gorgeous.
But yeah, then there's Soldier Boy. There's this Soldier Boy review online. Are you familiar with the artist
I
Soldier
do
Boy?
know who Soldier Boy is. He's
Yeah,
pretty much the worst.
No, very talented man. Very talented man.
Is he a hip hop artist?
He's
Is
one,
that
he's
who
one of
you
those
describe
hippie
him?
hoppy artists. Yes, and
Urban American.
very urban. Yes, super urban. But yeah, no, his review. Yeah, his review. He basically just filmed it. It was like, he's like, yo man, this shit's crazy. Like, he just jumps down, you rewind, and that's all you do. That's the whole point of the game. You're like, yeah. That is the whole point of the game. You know what? You've got it. You got it.
You know, man.
You know what he was trying to say.
Nice.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, Soldier Boy is a bit of a dick. Really.
Hey now. Come on. No, I don't think anyone here would have known how to Superman a hoe if it wasn't for Soldier Boy.
That's true.
So give him, credit where credit's due.
If only for that.
That's more than I've ever done.
Right, fuck Soldier Boy. Let's drink this stout.
Yes!
Stout time.
Stout. So this is the White Chew Milkshake Stout. I've actually heard quite a lot of good things about this. I've never tried it. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm very much looking forward to this one because there is a spaceship on the front of it.
There is.
So what's the relevance of that then? Because all the other labels have...
Have all
A bit lame!
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, is that...
Is
Yeah,
there
that's
any
true.
significance to any of the pictures?
Milkshake.
Apart from maybe the elephant
The Indian
in the
elephants.
IPAs. The India Pale Ales being an Indian elephant.
Pretty tangential.
Yeah.
You said the balloon. You did the balloon. Bristol balloon.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with Blossom Amber Ale? Yeah, I don't know. If there is something going on there with
Blossom from Roseanne.
Fuck's
Didn't
going
she
on?
work in a hot air
She
balloon?
did, didn't she?
Do you remember that?
No.
This is a different colour.
What colour is it?
I'm going to go with a nice... It's kind of like it's like a spearmint
It's
green.
stout colour. It's stout colour.
That's not true.
That's
It's
what it
sewage
is.
brown, of course.
It is. Almost. Well, it was just as dark as the stout we had last week.
On myself
Yeah,
to do
that's
this.
pretty fucking dark.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It smells like Twiglets.
Yeah, she
I'm
does.
Really?
A little bit,
Yeah, I'm getting Twiglets.
Getting a little Marmite
Yeah.
kick off.
Not just Twiglets, Marmite Twiglets. It's,
Aren't all
it's
Twiglets
really
Marmite?
are they?
isn't it? Isn't
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
what flavour.
Yeah.
They're just.
Is it
Otherwise,
really?
they're just.
Come on, dude. Do you want to edit that out?
Nothing's getting edited out. Every stupid shit.
That's, yeah. I'm getting a bit of salami as well. Salami and Twiglets. That's what I'm getting.
it's nice. It's not a massive flavour.
No, but like I said, again, that's
It is very balanced.
And then when you drink it, a nice bit of fag ash.
fag ash, salami.
I think you find it
Twiglets.
smoky.
Oh, sorry, smoky. Sorry, yes. Smoky. Nice.
I don't like stout.
No?
No.
Hand it over.
But this is alright.
Okay, sure.
Well, fucking tough.
Two-part review. To be continued.
I know. I kind of like. I feel the same about stout. I never get that excited about them. Like if I drink a good one, I'm like, yeah, this is like the best stout ever, and I'm like, okay, it's like the best stout ever. Whatever.
Yeah.
If I drank the best
I
IPA ever, I'd be like, oh my god, this is so fucking
absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not the best stout I've ever had.
No,
It's
but
quite nice.
this is amongst the top stouts I've had, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah, because to be honest, a lot of stouts I'm just like, no. And I don't feel like this about this.
So you should drink wild beer, millionaire.
Oh, mate, that was
What was it?
that
Millionaire
quality.
shortbread or something.
I think it was just called Millionaire.
I do like
Was it?
Millionaire
Yeah.
It was
Shortbread.
a caramel.
It was
something
just
but
out of
it
this
was- yeah,
world.
it was fucking
It's
awesome.
like, oh my god, it was like eating cake or something in a drink. It was just amazing. Like,
This is a
everything
lot
was-
sweeter than most.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It has that. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to go on holiday to Withensea every so often, and it has like the foam on the top is like the exact brown that you only get from the sea at Withensea. So I'm finding it very nostalgic.
The technical term is
Just
scum.
start weeping.
Is that
in a
scum?
moment.
Yeah, it's got like that beautiful reminiscent scum on the top. Yeah.
So I think the fact that it's sweet and it's a milk stout, I think it's got lactose in it. Because lactose is a sugar that doesn't ferment.
I would say so.
So you were saying it's like sweet, but think of those like milk bottles, the
No,
sweets,
I'd rather not.
and it tastes like that.
Yeah, okay.
Do you not like those?
I just don't want to think about them.
Oh, that's kind of a dietary requirement, isn't it? You probably should have told us that.
I had a
before
bad
we-
experience.
Before we drank.
Yeah, is anyone lactose intolerant?
Milk bottles.
Doesn't matter now, does it?
Too many milk
Too
bottles.
late.
You're lactose tolerant.
Right, let's chat about Green Steamlight. Nope, Steam Greenlight, Skynet, and early access games because you guys are thinking of putting Salvaged into Steam Greenlight.
There's no thinking about it.
No, we were thinking about it.
I never thought about anything.
Just going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. No, we are definitely putting Salvaged on Greenlight. And
Right, so here's the question: why?
because we would like to sell it on Steam.
Yeah, but why not just like make it first properly and then put it on Steam rather than?
Because how do you do that?
Well,
I don't know.
it's a
I
good-
don't know.
it's a-
Working
yeah,
in the industry.
that's a
Why are you
question.
asking me?
That's a question to the question.
Okay, alright, yeah.
It's a
how
very
do-
expensive way to do that. Basically, it's like so. Steam Greenlight basically allows people to show their support for it. Basically, kind of like if it's.
So it's a financial reason, basically.
Yeah, well, I think mainly, and support reason as well, because obviously, like we could, even if we had enough money to make it, like like to make the another GTA, like if no one was interested in it, like it's kind of like testing the water. I think you put it out there, you put like a little demo, a little video,
Yeah, it's built the hype for it a little bit
right?
more.
Yeah,
than
there's
just
a reason it
sort of
would be
Twitter
there.
and Facebook
If people
stuff.
kind of go like, yeah, I like this, it's a bit different. I like the look of it. And, you go like, well. Sweet, because here it is.
Yeah.
Like that. Whereas if no one, like you go, okay, well maybe we went
But it's
down
kind of
the
weird,
wrong
isn't it?
direction.
Because like, I mean, if you did that with a film or something, you just like have the first couple of scenes and just see if people like the first couple of scenes, and you make the rest of the film.
Sure.
Like, doesn't happen in any
But
other.
that's
Hey, man,
exactly
it's-
what happened with Kung Fury.
Oh,
recently,
Kung Fury on
basically.
Kickstarter,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So there's this absurd, I suppose, 80s-esque kung fu film, and all you had was a 30-second sort of clip of it.
Yeah.
And you've got this cop who's a kung fu master riding dinosaurs, chicks, Viking chicks firing off miniguns, arcade machines that come alive to fight people, and you had all of that packed into a 30-second clip, and it just shot through its Kickstarter gold, so they could then make this 30-minute film and be able to pay for it. And I suppose it's just another tool to be able to use to build hype into.
Actually, Snakes on a Plane had something similar to that, didn't it?
Sure, right. But it's just you people just
Essentially,
like,
when you're pretty much coming from nowhere and you're like a little company and you're trying to build an audience, you're in competition with a million other fucking little game development companies that are trying to do exactly the same. And one way of exposing yourself to them is through Steam Greenlight. And the way that Steam Greenlight works is that regardless of how much promotion you put out there, no matter my job is like the marketing guy. Like I'm not supposed to like put our game out there. I'm supposed to talk to journalists. I'm supposed to do all this. But regardless of all that effort that I put in, there are still about 2,000 people that will see Salvaged through Steam Greenlight. That are not people that I've directed to Steam Greenlight. They are people that are on Steam that have just clicked the Greenlight button.
Yeah.
That are not necessarily an audience that will have seen it through any other means. That's a new audience right there. And as an indie developer, you cannot ignore anyone new to your game at all. And if they engage with your game, then you need to engage with them as well. And if you don't do that, then you're a shit developer. Basically, you are. It's true. Like it might not be why you got into video games. You might have got into video games because you're like, well, I want to explore like the whatever it might be that you want to explore, which might be as weird as fuck. It might be really strange, whatever you want to explore. But you might be someone who's like, I want to make a game about killing aliens, but I don't know how to speak to people about killing aliens. And this is the best way to do it. And people that just go on Greenlight and they go, oh yeah, I like that. And they press the subscribe button on there and then they get updates about that game. That's just how the industry works, basically. Like there is nothing you could do to avoid the fact that you need people to pay attention to your game.
So what do you think? I mean, do you think like, because you said like it doesn't really happen in other industries. Like, do you think that means it shouldn't happen? Because it's kind of, like if you think like a lot of films getting criticised for getting like kind of blander and kind of like we touched on earlier for just being adverts for the next the second half of the film is just an advert for the next film and things like this. If there's a website that was like, here's a trailer or a few seconds from every film we're thinking of making next year, you're like, well, yeah, I'm interested in that. So it's not actually putting money on the line, because obviously the people, it's very different. Take films again, like the people that spend money on films are not necessarily the people that appreciate films the most, right? It's like groups of teenagers that go on a Friday night, they spend shitloads on popcorn and they just fuck around throughout the whole thing. And the problem with the film industry is that they only listen to them because they're spending the most money, right? So if you had a system where, okay, you're not actually having to put anything down, like, I mean, obviously that means a lot of shit can get through, which we can deal with at some other point, but if you can listen to the people that don't necessarily have to get, put a tenant down and then get annoyed by someone that's texting throughout the whole fucking thing, and it puts you off going to the cinema as a whole, So it's just a way of, kind of seeing what the audiences are after without.
So wait,
them
are you
having to
saying that it makes for better products because it's not like a big industry watering down and putting out the mass appeal?
Sure, right.
Or are you saying that it's better for the audience who doesn't get listened to normally?
Well,
They're slightly different things, aren't they?
Well, I'd say both. I mean, they are different.
Maybe they're the same thing.
Well, I think they are kind of linked, right? I mean, it's so it's a lot of people. I'm kind of one of them. I guess I think you kind of guys maybe them as well, where you kind of get annoyed with what the what's the top selling game of the year, what's the top selling album of the year, what's the top selling film of the year, and things like that. And that's just because money talks, right? And that's up until things like crowdfunding, Greenlight, things like that. Since money was the only way to communicate your opinion. And the good thing about Greenlight is you can go, like, we can ask people for free if you like this game or not. And if
I guess it's like craft games or whatever instead of craft beer.
Right.
Like you can just try out little games.
Sure. Yes, you can make you can make a pint at home and like it. Yeah. People go, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah.
Okay, let's not make.
No more.
Yeah, but if they go, why isn't this in like every pub in the way? You're right. Well, I'm onto something.
Actually, that's true. So amber ale wasn't a style of beer until like the 70s when microbreweries started making it, and now big breweries make it because people liked it. So it's actually pretty fucking analogous, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you get the Kung Fury example. Like I didn't even know about it before until it came out. It's like free on YouTube. It's they just wanted to make it. They released it free. Anyone that wants to watch it can watch it.
Which I fucking love them for.
Which is
amazing that they did.
Amazing, right? And that's because they made enough money, I presume, to make the film and then live.
Yeah.
But that's when they did that Kickstarter, they pretty much made the film already. Like they needed the money for the post-production. Yeah. They raised enough money for post-production, and we're like, wait, let's just go mental with it.
Sure. And any people bitch about Kickstarter, and people bitch about Greenlight, and people bitch about Steam altogether, right? But any system that's in place is going to be taken advantage of because people like to do that. But I think if you're, there's thousands of games on there, and you can just, it doesn't benefit you to just say yes to all of them because what you're getting out of it. It doesn't benefit you to say no to all of them because what are you getting out of it? It's pure opinion without having to put anything.
It sort of becomes a point where like there's too many though. So like, it's like going to the video shop when you're a kid and it's just like, how am I supposed to choose? I've got to look at every single video.
But there were already too many. I agree with you in a lot of ways, but Greenlight is there to say, there are too many, let's narrow it down a little bit, because they introduced like the $100 registration fee, which is not going to Valve, it's a donation to charity.
Right.
But they had so much fucking stuff to cope with. They were so sick of games basically being submitted that we're like, we need to make sure that people that are submitting games are not just being annoying dickheads and submitting.
They're like serious about the product they have.
Z stupid game. Yeah. We need people to say, here's $100. We want our game to be considered. And that $100 did not go to Steam. It does not go to Steam. It's just a donation to charity.
It's like the deposit that you have to put down to stand for Parliament.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah. And I think like a Parliament is kind of, you say like Blockbuster. I think it's kind of the difference between like a Blockbuster store and say subscribing to Netflix, right? So you got Netflix, like, I've paid my money, right? Let's see what shit's on there. We'll watch a documentary about sushi or whatever because what the fuck. But if you're in Blockbusters...
You actually watched a documentary about sushi.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You watched that shit, dude.
No, I didn't look at it. I mean, I saw it and was
You
like,
should watch
sushi,
that
what
shit.
the fuck?
It's awesome.
Is it good? All right,
Yeah, but like if I was in Blockbusters and saw that on the shelf, I'd be like £4 for a documentary on sushi. You can fuck right off. Right? But like so that's what I mean. It's kind of like opening up the like people's options, and I think that's.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously at some point you have to pay for it, but then you just kind of think you go from you move from Greenlight to early access. To
Yeah,
full release.
that's sort of the next point.
Yeah.
If you guys thought about early access then, because a couple of games that I bought through early access, like Darkest Dungeon, is one of the best games I played this year.
Incredible.
Yeah, so and it's it's not finished; it's 60% done.
You could be fooled thinking it's finished though.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
completely. Yeah.
But,
So if you guys thought about going into early
We're
access, as well,
almost certainly going to the access.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
it's
think probably.
pretty much the plan. Really.
I mean, it's like I don't know. A lot of people, and obviously again, like people take advantage of it, but a lot of people seem to be of the opinion that you're trying to trick people into
Yeah.
buying before it's finished. But it's like it's kind of this process, like Greenlight, early access, purchase. It's just like slowly lowering someone into. Do you actually want to part with money to play this thing? If not, that's fine. Just like jump straight out. Like it's mutually beneficial.
Mm.
And it's, again, there's gonna be people that make a game that's intentionally shit and looks nice, and you buy it and you
take a
can't
load of
buy it.
money.
Yeah, now they've got refunds, right? That's just come in,
Yeah.
so that's gonna make that harder.
True, and I suppose it doesn't make you're not making anyone do anything. They can wait until the game is
If it
is
comes, it comes
completed
out, if you want, yeah.
to then purchase the game. So it's
I mean,
just
it's-
another option, I suppose.
Sure.
Isn't it? If you're
It's
that
just-
interested in it, and say you went through Steam Light, you vote for it,
Yeah.
then think about it and go,
guys, it's like communism. If we get into that. You can say you're doing it, but you're actually not doing it. Right?
Exactly.
You're doing it the wrong way,
Exactly.
right? Okay. But then, but if you're doing it properly, you're doing it to try and give everyone an equal opportunity to try anything they want, right? But most people don't do that shit. Tell me what to do. So I'm glad we've tackled that.
good.
Quite a lot of different topics have come up this
That's the thing about having guests.
Yeah, enough. It's crazy shit.
People live different lives and they have different shit to talk about. Blah, blah, blah.
But I'm glad that you mentioned Civilization now, because that's pretty much every week that's been mentioned, isn't it?
We can talk Civilization.
We can talk about Super Hexagon again, but
Super Hexagon, yeah, that's another game we always mention. Super Hexagon is a great game, I don't know if you guys know that game.
No, that's not.
such a
I
tiny little
love
game.
that game.
Yeah, it's
but-
great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
Now, one week we're going to have that as the intro music. The music.
The
in
music's
that
amazing.
best
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
about it.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
I really like chiptune, and that's a bloody good example of chiptune.
How far have you got in Super Hexagon, by the way?
Fairly far. I don't know what number it is. I don't know, but I've done quite well at it. I don't know what the number is.
I've gone for like 50 seconds or something. That seemed like absolutely ages.
Now, obviously, I know what Super Hexagon is. For people out there that perhaps don't know.
everyone that listens to this podcast knows what Super Hexagon is.
Describe it every week.
That's not necessarily true. So if you could just say,
It's a sort of Twitch game where you just have left and right, and all you're doing is moving a cursor around a circle, and there's these like kind of kaleidoscope shapes that shrink around you, and there's always like one or two gaps, and you have to get to the gap quickly before it squashes you. And obviously you knew that anyway, but
yeah,
for those people who didn't know,
you idiots out there.
yeah. And it's got this like I don't know, like it's kind of trance house kind of
Beats.
theme. I don't know. I don't even like that type of music, but this theme is
In
like
this context,
is sick.
yeah. It's
Right,
really fancy.
anyway.
As we've moved on to Super Hexagon, we're going to finish.
Yeah. Okay. On that bombshell.
That is it for this
I've got
week.
so much to say about Super
So
Hexagon.
yeah, completely. So it's been Joe and Dan from Opposable Games. Where can people reach you if they want to and stuff?
BuzzableGames.com. Dan's on road at Twitter.
At Joey Blakeston or opposable.com.
Yeah, at Opposable Games
Yeah.
on
I'll do
Twitter.
it. That's the one.
Quality. As always, I'm at Nova_47. We're at tankedup.cast. No, did it again. Did it wrong again. Tanked up underscore cast. Fuck you, Twitter. Fucking dots and
The
underscores
underscore
and
is
shit
the
like this.
shittest keyboard command
Hey!
there is. What? It is.
And we use it for everything.
It's bullshit.
I'm a big fan.
And as always, if you want to get hold of Alex, Just knock on his house,
Send me a
shout
letter.
stuff at him, tell him about things.
Yeah.
We've been tanked
Ben
up
lives next door, by the way. So knock on his
to
as well.
Alex. No, fuck that. Alex is always free. I'm busy.
I have important work. I do. I send emails to people.
That's very true.
They never
You do
email back,
important
that's
work.
fine.
So we have been tanked up. You guys have been Opposable Games.
Thanks for having us, guys. It was
That's
been
good.
a-
Thank you very much for coming in, drinking some beers,
Beyond
hanging
a
out.
pleasure.
Bye.
Great. Take it easy, guys.